Hi everybody, it's Dave Rivas with the Roustabouts Theater Company, and on Monday, August 19th at 7 p.m. at Moxie Theater, the Roustabouts is premiering a brand new play by Macias. It's called Hoods, and today we've got one of the actors here with us, Devin Wade. Devin, what's happening?
Nothing much. I'm very, very excited for this show, and I'm so happy that you asked me to do this interview. A good excuse to talk to you.
It's so good to see you. Last time I saw you, we were working on Hand to God at the Roustabouts.
Yes, that is true. We just cannot get out of the Roustabouts thumb. It's nice and comfy under there.
It's good. I love the Roustabouts, and we had a blast. Oh my gosh, that was such a good time.
Truly, I don't think I've had more fun on a show, both in and off stage, on and off stage. It was just an all-around blast.
It was so good, and you were just absolutely amazing in that.
Dave, I was going to say the same thing to you.
Yeah, well, I was okay, but you were awesome. You were awesome. And we got to fight and everything. So now we're doing Hoods. It's so good to see you back at Roustabouts, and this is a staged reading of a world premiere play by Matt Thompson. So have you read it? What do you think about the show?
Yes, read it, loved it. It brings a lot of important issues to the forefront, especially getting this out to as many people as possible with the way that it covers how people are living in this sort of program where people can live in their cars in a parking lot, and how there are a lot of working people that are still shelterless, and amongst other more specific topics that it touches on in the story with the specific characters. The overall setting does create a very interesting experience. But yeah, I read the script. I love the script.
Yeah, I understand it's a unique setting, and at the same time, you not only learn things about this lifestyle, but it also, not to give too much away, but there's also some hope involved in it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that hope is a driving factor of the entirety of the story, because it truly is people just trying to make it in a society that doesn't often see what these people do as inherently valuable. Because I think something that this story touches on is the value that people have just by being people, or even whatever value that they can share in whatever capacity that is. For me, it's acting, and that's obviously very hard for other people to see value in. And I think this show does a great job at expressing that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. That's really great. That makes me really excited to see it. So, tell us about your character. Who do you play in the show?
Yes, I love Zeal is my character that I'm playing in the show. And it's very special to me, too, because this is actually the first character that I've played who is potentially identifying as a bunch of different things on the queer spectrum. But it's the first time that I've ever been able to play a outwardly queer character, and I'm very excited about that, especially because Zeal definitely seems to be male-born, non-binary presenting, and that hits very close to home for me. And just to kind of have this wonderful marriage of this artistic weirdo who doesn't quite fit, who's sort of on the fringes of society, but still perseveres with a very strong personality. It's not only exactly what I want to be, but so much that I identify with. So I'm very excited to play Zeal.
That is gonna be great. Oh my gosh. It's hard to believe you haven't had the opportunity to play a character like that yet. So this is gonna be great for you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's just not that I'm usually too picky on the characters that I play. I mean, it's hard to deny a character like Timmy in our last show, because he was just so fun, and I do have those characters inside of me, regardless of their orientation. But for these things to line up like this, it always just makes me especially happy.
Yeah, no, it's great to actually feel represented or actually feel like you're bringing something extra, bringing yourself into the character and to show the world, show the audience your true, honest take on it. So that's really something special. That's awesome. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Why do you think people should come and see this show? Besides that.
Hopefully I've already sold some people on it just from the perspective that it's like bringing, but it's also just a very well written show. Zeal, I think, especially comes in with some very funny lines, but it's to me, I read it as like funny through gritted teeth, like almost. Zeal doesn't have the capacity to fully internalize their like trauma and share it with people. So a lot of the times it comes through like jokes, which is a very easy way to get people interested and sat down. And then on top of that, when we go outside my character, we have poetry, we have topics of social, political science that are kind of intertwined just with this one woman's life and how she's navigating it. And I think our main character's perspective especially is what brings the most unique thing to this setting. And on top of everything else, the lessons that you're going to be learning from watching this, the awareness that it's going to bring to people, and the representation that it's also sharing, it's just a solid script. Hopefully, even just by the first couple pages, we have you wrapped up in the dialogue. And then you're also just going to have the fortunate accident of learning something at the same time of enjoying yourself.
That's actually one of my favorite things when playwrights bring that into their work, yes. Like where the audience gets to take something home with them, like being educated or enlightened in some way. I love that. So you mentioned just a little bit about poetry or music or something. So I'm assuming, do you do any poetry in this show, or is it all the main character that does that?
That's a great question. There's all sorts of poetry and songs and dances, but it does kind of, I'll let the other characters speak on what they do. Zeal, my favorite, they do interpretive dance.
Oh, man.
When I read in the script that the character does some sort of interpretive dance to tell how they're feeling, I'm like, oh, that's money, that's gold. Please, God, just like let me do whatever the hell I want to make this funny and weird.
That's great. Oh my gosh, that's worth the price of admission right there, to come see you in your element of dancing or just being you. So speaking of that, what is it? Okay, we know you're a great actor. We've seen you on stage. Well, I have. And those that haven't should come see you, at least in this reading. But say you're not on stage. What is Devin Wade's favorite thing to do outside of acting and theater? What do you like to do, say on a Sunday afternoon?
That's a great question, especially because acting is one of the things in my life that I would do even if I was under a bridge, not getting paid to do, which is like very few things in my life. I very much love acting and performing, but I'm also a very big reader. I've especially just this summer, I've probably spent an embarrassing amount of money in the triple digits on new books, more books, especially in this heat. I'm such a shut-in, and I actually really enjoy my private time as well, as much as I love goofing with people on stage. So a perfect Sunday afternoon is honestly like self-time. If I can be active, I always feel better when I'm active. I'm not always active. A wonderful little book that I can read for a couple hours, and then probably, as much as I love cooking, getting food delivered, because I do love cooking. I cook almost all of my meals, but the effortlessness of ordering food that you very much love, like this wonderful Indian place down the street from me.
Yes.
That you don't have to clean up the dishes and like, mwah, mwah, mwah. That's the perfect afternoon for me.
Same. I did the exact thing yesterday. I can cook, but yesterday I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna order a pizza. That's awesome.
You deserve it.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I told myself. Also, I think I may have seen you maybe in a little video frolicking through the woods somewhere, enjoying yourself out in nature. Was that you?
Me frolic? Come on.
Come on. You're a fantastic frolicker. I think you're out in some eucalyptus trees or something like that, just like shooting some home videos or something. I don't know.
Oh my God. Yeah. I can't help it. Like I try not to be too online, like in social media, but like whenever I just can't help but get possessed by the creator bug. And like, I just see myself doing something. I got to record it, make it funny. If I was more disciplined, I'd probably pursue something like YouTube or like being some sort of content creator. But good God, I got to get my ADHD under control before I start branching outside of the acting stuff that I'm already doing. Oh God.
Well, hey, look at you now. You're you and me. We're famous now. Look, we're like on social media. We're promoting shows and stuff like that. This is the Devin, Wade, and Dave Rivas show right now.
Yeah, the double D's.
Don't forget to click and like and subscribe.
You gotta like and subscribe. I love all my followers. Big fan. Big fan of having fans.
Big fan of having fans. All right, so before we go, let's bring it let's bring it back into the theater setting just for a second. Now, we've just given the audience a little preview that we're kind of crazy. You and I had a fantastic crazy time doing Hand to God together. Produced by the Roustabouts Theater Company, directed by Phil Johnson. But what is one of the craziest, most outrageous, or fun, or sweet, or whatever? What's a good theater story involving Devin Wade?
Oh my gosh. I mean, if anybody's done theater, I don't think it takes too many theater experiences for somebody to have something weird happen to them. Weird stuff happens all the time in live theater. I don't want to say this is the craziest, but we've had people like walk on our stage trying to find the bathroom before. We've had people have phones go off and then one of the other actors react to it, which I was like, oh my God, don't do that. I think one time that I haven't talked about, interestingly enough, is when I was doing Piece of My Heart on stage, and there's a role, All the American Men. It was very fun because I got to play a bunch of different people, even though they were all snippets. And during our performance, during our run, it was like 2 weeks into our run, I had cut off a little tip of my finger while cooking.
Oh my gosh.
And I'll save the bloody details for another story for our other podcast where we describe the injuries we've gotten in theater.
Blood and Guts Theater with Devin and Dave.
We'll call it like stitches, broken legs. So I just did something. I goofed up. It wasn't serious, but I did cut off like a little tip, no bone, anything like that. Came to the next week of shows with my finger completely wrapped. And I remember there was this one agent that I played. Piece of My Heart is about the Vietnam War. At some point in the second half of the story, the girls come home. I play this skeevy agent who has to, as a very bad person, smack one of the other women on the bottom. And the only way for me to do that was with this injured hand with this bandage on it. So I just remember like having to commit to this sleazy agent character and then slap my friends behind and then really injure myself. Needless to say, I like shock therapy. I don't think I'll ever be touching anybody inappropriately. Like it had a psychological effect on me, I swear. It won't happen again.
That's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing.
Sorry if it went a little long, but it was very real.
Okay, so Deb, what do you want to tell our audience or our potential audience for the upcoming reading Monday night?
Just keep Roustabouts on your radar. I mean, in general, obviously we have the reading going on Monday nights, and if you can come, because this is exactly how Hand to God started. It started as a reading, and then we ended up putting on as a show, and it was one of the most fun shows I've ever done. And just pay attention to these theaters that are putting on really good work and not just doing the college course of theater, but for adults. It is really good theater with really, really, really good people, as evidenced by, of course, Dave Rivas being incorporated in this. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I really wouldn't. And I'm very happy to be doing this.
Thanks for joining us, Devin. Everybody go see Devin Wade this next Monday night, August 19th at 7 p.m. at Moxie Theater in Hoods, a brand new world premiere staged reading written by Matthew Thompson, directed by Phil Johnson, produced by the Roustabouts Theater Company. For tickets, go to theroustabouts.org. See ya!